In this video, I'm going to show you some disgracefully unacceptable driving towards a cyclist, but I'm also going to clear up what the rules say about where in the road a cyclist should be positioned. So I'll come back to that in a moment, but let's roll the clip. You can see that there's a driver behind and there's an ambulance in front. You can also see that there's roadworks on the left and the right. These are controlled with temporary traffic lights. You can see that the cyclist has to go around these and the vehicle gradually edges its way closer and closer towards the cyclist. But as we're going through this single lane, this driver decides he's had enough of waiting behind the cyclist and pushes his way through, knocking the cyclist off the bike onto the road. But let's be clear about it. The rules for cyclists are 59 to 82, and Rule 72 of the Highway Code provides for road positioning. When riding on roads, there are two basic road positions you should adopt, depending on the situation. Number 1, ride in the center of your lane to make yourself as clearly visible as possible in the following situations: on quiet roads or streets, in slower moving traffic, or at the approach to junctions or road narrowings where it will be unsafe for drivers to overtake you. I would argue that this comes in the latter because this is a road narrowing, which is going to be unsafe for this vehicle to overtake the cyclist, and the vehicle should have waited. If in the situation, which has resulted in this argument on Twitter, that the cyclist can move over safely to allow the vehicle to pass, that is what these rules provide. In each of these provisions, it says move over to the left to enable them to overtake if you can do so safely. Now, I would argue that it was not safe for this cyclist to move over to the left to allow this vehicle to overtake, because in this situation with the cones, it is simply not possible for the vehicle to allow enough space, which is 1.5 meters on roads with speeds up to 30 miles an hour, because the vehicle cannot go past the central lane because of these cones. So it was simply not possible for this vehicle to pass this cyclist, allowing enough space to do so safely. In other words, the vehicle should have stayed put, stayed behind, and I don't think you need a lawyer to tell you that the vehicle shouldn't be shoving the cyclist out of the way. This is dangerous driving if ever I've seen it. However, as I read in the thread on Twitter, it seems that after 15 months of back and forth with the police, Alan Miles says that he's finally received confirmation that no action's being taken against the driver by Police Scotland, and it seems from the Twitter thread that it's because it took so long for the police to get involved that the driver simply couldn't remember the incident, and eventually, according to the thread, it was over a year later when the proper report was submitted, at which point it was time barred. So I thought that I just had to give you my views on this video. It's had 1.2 million views on Twitter and a huge debate and an argument in the thread as to whether or not the cyclist should be positioned where he was. In my view, it was perfectly fine. It was in accordance with the rules, and as I said, I don't think you need a lawyer to tell you that the driver should not have driven into the cyclist just because they were impatient. The driver should have been prosecuted. It was dangerous driving as far as I'm concerned because the driver deliberately edged forward to the point that he knocked the cyclist off. So it's at this point I'm going to plug yet again my new app, Proofify, which will allow you to store evidence. If you come across situations like this, you can store it immediately in the Proofify app, and this has given me an idea to connect directly with police forces so that then hopefully we can build into the system a button to submit to police. So if you've stored evidence on Proofify, you can submit a button, it will submit it to the relevant police force, and hopefully they'll do something about it. And at the very least, they will have no excuse to do something about it, because if the app works the way I want it to, my developer will be very pleased with me that we've got to do more work on it. But if it works like that you can upload evidence of what's happened, press a button, it goes to the police force, and then they have no excuse because they will have received it. We will try to build into the system so that there's a confirmation that the police have received the report of the evidence. So hopefully that will work. Sign up for the waitlist with the link in the description below. It's proofify.app. I'm very excited to build this to you. We are very, very nearly there for the first prototype. So the thousands of you that are on the waiting list right now, I'm really excited to bring this first edition to you at a reduced price for testing it out. So thank you very much for sticking with me through this video, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Still 60% of you are not subscribed that watch this channel regularly. But in the meantime, I thank you for watching.